If you're an Airbnb investor who's been told no by the banks, forced into 12% interest hard money loans, or stuck using your own personal savings to fund every new property, this video is going to walk you through the exact process to get $100,000 or more in 0% interest. I'm Christian Shaw. Over the past 8 years, I've helped hundreds of real estate investors and entrepreneurs secure tens of millions of dollars in funding. And today, I'm going to be breaking down our exact step-by-step process that we use for our Airbnb clients to get up to $300,000 in 0% interest business credit in about 30 to 60 days. No hard money, no draining your savings, no destroying your personal credit score. Let's jump right into it. Section number 1, the foundation, credit optimization, and entity setup. Before you even think about applying for funding, you need to build the foundation. Skip this step and banks will either reject you outright or offer you super low limits with terrible terms. The first part is credit optimization. Most investors that I work with have personal credit scores between 600 and 700. That's good, but good doesn't get you $100,000 or more in funding. You need to be strategic here. This means getting your utilization low, making sure there's no errors or derogatories showing on your credit report, and timing everything correctly. Small tweaks here can be the difference between a $5,000 approval and a $50,000 approval from the same exact bank. The second part is entity setup. You need a properly structured LLC or an S Corp, an EIN number, and a dedicated business banking account. This is non-negotiable. Banks don't fund people anymore. They fund businesses. When you show up with just a personal credit card, a hope and a dream, you look like a risk. When you show up with a legitimate business entity, dedicated accounts, and a clean credit report, you look like a partner that they actually want to build a relationship with. This foundational phase takes about 15 to 30 days, depending on how much optimization needs to be done on your credit profile. We work with the banks and their underwriting departments to understand exactly what they're looking for when they make these approval decisions. We've created a Cinderella credit profile for all of our clients to maximize their credit approvals and their funding simply because we know exactly what the underwriter is looking for and what to avoid in order to get the highest funding approvals possible. By the way, if you're an Airbnb investor who wants my team to personally walk you through this funding system and get you $100,000 or more in 0% interest business credit, then click the link in the description below. And just so you know, we guarantee at least $50,000 in funding or you don't pay a dime. Section number 2, targeting the right banks and application sequence. Here's where most people mess up. They go online, apply for 10 random business credit cards in a single day, and then wonder why they're getting rejected or only approved for $2,000 limits. That approach destroys your chances. Every application creates a hard inquiry. Too many inquiries in a short period of time signals desperation to the banks, and they'll either decline you outright or lowball your limits. The strategy that actually works is called relationship-based banking. Instead of mass applications and throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, we apply in a specific sequence, spaced out strategically so that applications build on the last one instead of hurting it. We typically will target 5 to 7 cards that offer 0% APR for 12 to 18 months. And here's what most people don't understand. Working with relationship managers at these banks completely changes the game. When an underwriter sees you as a legitimate business owner with a relationship at the bank, they approve you for significantly higher limits. It's kind of like going to the best bar in town, and instead of waiting on the super long lines, you skip the line completely because you know the owner and you're friends with the bouncer. This reminds me of a client, Susan, that we worked with, and she was getting denied by every single bank that she applied for. It wasn't until that she started working with us, and within a month, we were able to get her approved for over $140,000 at 0% interest by using the same exact system. Section 3, approval, deployment, and management. Once you're approved, you're sitting on a war chest of $100,000 to $300,000 in credit, but having access to capital and knowing how to deploy it are two very different things. The first thing you need to understand is how to actually deploy this capital. These are credit cards, not cash. So if you need cash for a down payment, an earnest money deposit, a security deposit, or renovations, or paying contractors, you need to know how to convert that credit into deployable cash. This is called liquidation or credit conversion. The second thing is management. You have about 12 to 18 months of 0% interest. That's your window. The properties that you acquire with this capital needs to cash flow enough in order to pay back the credit before the promotional period ends. This is why the strategy works so well with Airbnb investors specifically. A furnished rental can start generating cash flow within 30 to 60 days of getting started. You're not waiting years for appreciation. You're getting paid monthly while the bank's money sits at 0% interest. First 30 days is to optimize your credit as well as your business structure. And then once we get you to that Cinderella credit profile, then we're able to introduce you to the relationship relationship managers, put you into the funding sequence, and get you approved for high-limit business credit cards. The investors who scale to 10, 20, or 50 properties or more, they're not using their own money. They're using the bank's money at 0% interest, deploying it into cash flow producing assets, and then paying it back before they owe a single dollar in interest. That's the playbook. If you want my team to personally walk you through this exact funding system to get up to $300,000 in business credit at 0% interest to grow your Airbnb business, click the first link in the description below to learn more. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.